Hello, my name is Kiriath, and the new plastic Contemptor has been revealed. RIP to the garbage monopose plastic Contemptor! You know what, I've said RIP as though that thing deserves any sort of send-off. It's not even a press F to pay respect for the plastic monopose Contemptor, because it was garbage. It was terrible, it was rubbish, it was too expensive, it was more expensive than an easy-to-build Redemptor Dreadnought, which is twice the size, it had no posability, and all of the seams were directly down the entire side of the model. I hated it from its very beginning all the way up to its timely death. But it's okay, because we've got a new one, and the new one actually looks really good, because it seems to be fully posable and there's no horrendous seam lines all over it. So here it is, it's Heresy Thursday once again. Lead the charge with the all-singing, all-dancing Contemptor Dreadnought. I mean, it's just... we're just going to look at it. We're just going to look at it straight away. Look at that. Look. Oh, baby. That already looks better, right? That already looks better. It's painted really nicely, which kind of helps. But take a look at the legs. Take a look at the legs, right? You see down the side of, like, the shin armour, like the greaves, the bottom part of the legs, you notice how there isn't a whacking great line down it, like across the flat panel. You notice that? That's already an improvement. That's already better. Because previously, on the other one, there was just a line that extended all the way down the body, all the way down the legs, all the way down to the foot. Rubbish. Also, the way that like the upper body has been placed on, clearly shows that is a separate piece. That is a separate part. It can be posed, it can be moved, it can be shifted around. They do confirm it later in the article. I just cannot stress enough how excited I am. As a bit of a Dreadnought addict myself, I have mild issues when it comes to just Dreadnoughts in general. I like me a Dreadnought, you know this about me. The prospect of actually having a posable plastic Contemptor that is not terrible fills me with joy. Now, I know it's going to be expensive, alright? I already know this. We know this. We know there's been a price rise. We know how much Games Workshop plastic costs. We know what the deal is. But this still makes me happy, because it's so much better than the previous version. And there's a bunch of different weapons options. Oh, look at the close-up. Look at the close-up. Oh! Now, if I remember the garbage old version correctly, where the gun is, right, on that shoulder, you can see there's a gap between, like, the shoulder armour and the joint that moves down to the gun. That was like, on the other one, I'm pretty sure there was no gap there. Whereas there is a gap on the resin ones because you can change the angle of where the gun is posed. If that's the case on this one, that would be fantastic. That'd be brilliant, because that would mean that it is essentially as posable as the resin one. All the detail is absolutely spot on. It looks to be exactly like the ones that you get from Forge World in terms of the different joints and the little kind of like little squares and rectangle cutouts and stuff in the armor itself. I mean, it looks, in the same way that the Spartan looks great because it looks like a plastic Spartan, this looks great because it looks like a plastic Contemptor, except we know that it's going to be better than the other one that we had access to, which was naff. So, they say the Contemptor's right arm can take ballistic weapons in the form of a bolt cannon or autocannon, or melter cannon, or las cannon, so that's 4 different options, presumably straight out of the box. And then the Power Fist can have the Combi Bolt, the Heavy Flamer, Plasma Blaster, or Melter Gun. So that is another 4 options for the fist-mounted weapon as well, which is fantastic. And the Carapace-mounted Havoc Launcher. Look at them. Oh, it's nice. It's just nice having the choice, you know? Having loads more weapon options is one thing, but perhaps the greatest triumph of the new kit is in its posability. Hallelujah! The Contemptor Dreadnought has been cunningly constructed with full ball and socket joints at the hips and ankles, as well as half ball joints at the waist and chest. Yes. 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 Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. I mean, the fact is, to me, that is a great looking model because it is the Contemptor that I already loved. My issue with the previous one was the fact that it was so static in its pose. You couldn't alter it very easily at all without cutting out the backs of the knees or cutting out the join at the hips. And if you did that, you would then have to try and repose the feet in some way because it didn't look right, because just like one of the legs had moved back slightly. It was an okay fix to something that shouldn't really have been an issue in the first place, because when you're putting this stuff together, I know it was easy to build, but surely there would have been a way to do it that did not involve it just being that static. And actually, you know what? Now I think about it, now I say it was easy to build, I don't know that it was ever labelled easy to build. In fact, thinking about it, I don't think it ever was. So it was just a plastic Contemptor. This is just a flat out upgrade to that. We already had a plastic Contemptor, but it was garbage because it was nowhere near the quality of the ones you get from Forge World. It didn't look as good, it wasn't as good to put together, it was actually really static and really awful to try and repose. This fixes literally all of that. So there is no part of this that I don't like. It still looks great, it's still exactly what I want, it's got more options, and you can pose it. Like, this is perfect. It's going to be expensive, we know it's going to be expensive, but frankly, I will probably end up getting one purely for the joy of having a Contemptor that I can put together without faffing about with cleaning resin, without having to worry about cutting it to pieces just to make it so that it doesn't look like it's standing in an awkward, annoying position. 10 out of 10 would gush over again. What do you reckon of the new Chunky Lad? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this fixed all of your issues that you had with the previous one? I'd be surprised if it doesn't. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm excited. You can tell I'm excited. I just want it. I can't help myself. I just want it. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Warhammer Games, which you can use to support the channel if you'd like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.